Hey, hey, hey. If you're watching a broadcast, I only said that because I'm on live before the people get here. I always, it's a choice of matter of how you fashion your style. I like to go on live 5 minutes before my broadcast starts to give Facebook a chance to build the audience. And so that way, this is my interactive day. I broadcast on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but this is my interactive day. So I also get on early so I can do shout outs. And I'm going to be trying to be a little bit more technologically swift today because I'm going to be also talking to you and watching the broadcast on my iPhone because for when we get to our interactive part. So this is we've got less than 5 minutes before we start the broadcast. So this is where I get to do my shout outs when people come on. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I could do a shout out to myself, actually. Wow. Excuse me. You know what I just noticed? Because I never watched this on the iPhone while I'm broadcasting, but I'm seeing that it's actually transcribing the words. At least it is on my iPhone. I don't know if it's doing it on yours. All right. But that is so cool. I tell you, technology is something, y'all. Get with technology. Old school, get to know technology. You have to recognize that young people, they don't have the market cornered on technology, but more importantly, they did not learn everything on their own. We taught them. So I know we like to say, well, the kids, they know the technology, but no, no, no. Sometimes our learning is based on freedom to be wrong. Ooh, I had a hard time shaping my mouth because I really like to say the freedom to be right, but most people think it's the freedom to be wrong. But you have to have actually, I believe it is the freedom to be right. In other words, when you have enough confidence that you can make a choice and not worry about the repercussions of it, you actually become more creative. And I think that in a lot of cases, that's what you see in terms of our kids with how they use technology. They're not afraid to try something new. And older people, that's what we've got to remember to do as well, especially us as the technology changes. So we've got less than 3 minutes to go for today's message. And so but everything makes a difference. So if this is your first time and if you're watching the videotape, it's actually called Glue Wednesday. And Glue Wednesday was born from how old school we used to say hump day. Wednesday was hump day. They still say it because it was the middle of a 5-day week, because we only looked at the week, Monday to Friday, and then the weekend was Saturday, Sunday. But I say that Glue Wednesday is actually the middle of a traditional 7-day week that keeps the week beginning and the week end together. So it's the glue. And I like how it puts me right in a prayerful mode because that's what my glue is. GLUE. God's love undoes everything. A reminder that we don't have to hump. We have to keep it together. And so that's what we're doing on Glue Wednesday, my inspirational message to always remind you and give us new ways to keep it together. So we've got less than 2 minutes to go for today's message. And again, like I said, I'm going to be on with you watching the video on my iPhone. So I'm doing some tech multitasking. Woo, okay. So but meanwhile, as we get ready for Glue Wednesday, realize that you can always, please, in fact, subscribe to my YouTube channel because I always post my lives on the YouTube channel so you can watch them sequentially. And if you're not signed up to receive my every week, I send out all of my video recordings. So Monday is called the Monday Morning Moment, and it's just a 1 to 2 minute inspirational message that's taped, and I put it on there. Then Friday is Gift Friday, 8 to 12 minutes, where I will read one of my original poems and tell you how to use that poetry in your life, and then you get to click on and gift that poem to yourself. That one is also not interactive. And then this is my interactive day, which is Wednesday, Glue Wednesday. And hey, Roger Carroll, first one in the house. Yay. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Hey, Roger Carroll, I'm going to be trying to be multitasking here and see if I can do it. Because I'm watching that way I can maybe see stuff a little bit quicker when I do my interactive part, when I have y'all answering questions, yeah, you're going to be answering some questions today. And maybe I'll see it quicker on my phone, but now I see that actually I will not. But we've got less than a minute to go for today's message, so that's the key is that's also what you have to do is be comfortable waiting to see how technology is going to work for you. So as we move on, we say Glue Wednesday. What we're doing is I'm continuing what I call my GAS series, and GAS is GAS, the Glue Alphabet series. We started the Glue Alphabet series last year during the pandemic, where what I did is gave you a chance to be creative with me as well as encourage me and support me, because I was coming up with a message Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now, what I just described to you were how I've toned back on the messages, because I was coming up with a 30, 45-minute message every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And in the process, as I was giving you advice to not burn yourself out, I was burning myself out. So I came up with the GAS series, and that is the Glue Alphabet series, where every day I would, or every broadcast would be of about a different letter in the alphabet. And so everybody would give me a letter in the words that go with the letter in the alphabet. And then the next message, I would get those letters, those words into the alphabet. So each message featured the next letter in the alphabet, and the words were suggested by last week's viewers. So this week we're up to the letter H. Last week we had the G, and so my co-authors this week are Daphne Francis, who gave me humanitarian, Victor Morris, who gave me how. As you can see, it doesn't matter what words you give me. I don't tell them in advance what the topic will be. I just say, just pick a word that begins with that letter. Jose Valencia gave me happy. Roger Carroll and Ramona both gave me harmony. Ramona had emailed it to me, and I didn't tell her that it was a duplicate, because you know what? That's also the beauty sometimes. We say, oh, that's my word, I can't use it. Somebody else has used it. No, no, no. Isn't it better to find what we have in common? Sometimes the challenges that are going on in our world is that everybody's focusing on the differences instead of the commonalities. When you focus on the commonalities, a lot of times you see how senseless some of the differences are. That's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother broadcast. So I'll have to bring that one up another time as well. So I'll have to make sure that I get those words that begin with the letter H into my message today. And meanwhile, as you enjoy the message, what will happen is that your senses will have been alerted to listen for those words, but for any word that begins with an H. Because what happens is that's called the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon, which is a phenomenon that's where something you recently learned suddenly appears everywhere. You know how when you say, well, I want a blue car, suddenly you start seeing a lot of blue cars. Or actually you stop seeing blue cars until you buy the blue car. Then you start seeing a lot of blue cars that looks exactly like the one you got, which you thought you would get something different. But the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon is also a great way. It's what you would want to do as a practice, knowing, like, for instance, if you're going to a seminar or to a class for something that you want, when you know what you're going to look for, your senses are like spidey senses. They're more open, looking for what you want and what you need. So you're going to be more aware of the H's that come up in our message today. Now, the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon is also called frequency bias or illusion. Okay, because it's the seeming appearance of newly learned or paid attention to concepts in unexpected places. So similar to what I told you about the cars, okay? So you'll hear some H words, but you'll definitely hear those ones that you just saw. And meanwhile, today's message will extend last week's, what we started last week. Last week's message, even though we did the G, the message was fear, F-E-A-R, and that was was my affirmation for faith eventually attracts resources. Fear, faith eventually attracts resources. So I decided to continue with the fear as the base. But this message today is called the fear of success, because a lot of times that's what we have to realize, that we're afraid to succeed. People aren't afraid to fail. See, when you fail, the pity party shows up to say, oh man, you were the wrong size, the wrong age, the wrong color, the wrong sex, the wrong educational background. They come up with plenty of reasons in your pity party to make you feel good about failing. And then what do? We say, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they were discriminating against me, and said, now we don't feel bad about failing. The key is people will highlight your weaknesses and minimize your successes. So they're your accomplishments. So therefore, when we succeed, what becomes fearful is because when you succeed, you have to repeat. And now people will minimize your success of you succeeding, because they want to now say, oh, well, you must have kissed somebody's butt. You must have had an inside connection. Okay. Well, see, they come up with reasons to minimize how wonderful you are. So therefore, what do people do? They hide their success. And in essence, it becomes a fear of success. So this week, I'm going to do what I call my message sponsor. My message sponsor is connected to one of our first humanitarians, Moses. In Exodus 14:11, the Israelites said, why did you bring us out here to die in the wilderness? Our Egyptian slavery was far better than dying out here in the wilderness. Can you see the fear of success in that? They were afraid to go forward with the promised land, which they were supposed to be. This was supposed to be a successful journey, but they were afraid of that success. So our good humanitarian Moses had to lead them. So first, I want to put a little twist on my definition of success. Now, some of you who were with me live, or now maybe you're watching the video, have been with me in my seminar series. Remember this, Roger Carroll? Masters of Change, Embracing Challenge. Masters of Change, Embracing Challenge was a series that I created last year during the pandemic. So let me ask you, here's our interactive part. Put a C in the thread. Okay, just put the letter C in the thread. And even if you're watching the video, you can still do this, because there's going to be enough of a pause in between so that you can enjoy the lesson even more. I want you to put a C in the thread if you consider yourself a master of change. You love change. Just put a C in the thread. And like I said, I'm getting a tape delay on where I'm watching from, but I can watch it live. Hey, Joan. Joan, come on, Joan. You put a C in the thread there if you like change. And Carolyn, Simmons, Macy, if you want to put a C in the thread if you like change. You love change. You are a master of change. I want you to put that in the thread right now. Okay? Put that in the thread. All right. I'm going to wait. And that way, see, again, if you're watching the videotape, you can see you've got time. Put a C in the comments if you are a master of change, if you really like change. Put a C in the comments. Okay. Fair. Okay, good. Okay, good. We got one. Roger Carroll. What about you, Carolyn? You still there? No? Okay. All right. What we got there? Okay, there's the C from Roger Carroll. All right. What else we got? Anybody else? No more C. Oh, there we go. Carolyn got a C. Okay, so both of them, they like change. They're masters of change. Great. Okay, now we're going to use the letter L this time. And I want you to put the letter L in the feed. If you, hey, what's up, Joyce Kirkland? Hey, Joyce, look, the C that you see in the thread is if you like change, you consider yourself a master of change, you're going to put a C. Now, meanwhile, you're going to put an L in the thread if you love challenge. Do you love a good challenge? So just put an L, and even if you put the C, you can still put it. But if you like a good challenge, put an L. If you like change, you love this, you're a master of change, give me your C. If you consider yourself a master of challenge, give me an L. So let's see what you got in the thread there. Let's see what we got in the thread. Joyce, oh, good. You are a master of change. Great. Now what about challenge? Put an L if you consider yourself a master of challenge. And there goes Roger Carroll. She's got her L in there. All right. Carolyn and Joyce, that's who we're on with live. Do you consider yourself a master of challenge? Then you're going to put an L in there. Carolyn's coming in with an L. We got two L's. Okay, we got three C's and two L's. Look at y'all building it up. Hey, sometimes you get to get a personal seminar. That's the way it is. Life is what they say, 90% showing up, 10% attitude. I don't know if that's the average, the percentages they use, but we know it's the real deal. All right, so I'm a roll for up. Oh, Joyce said no. Okay, good. You don't like a good challenge. Okay, good. I didn't even say put what you don't like. So great. Thank you. At least I know I wasn't waiting for you to answer. Great. Okay. Well, here's the deal. Okay, here's the deal. All right. See, but where am I on my notes? Let me okay. I welcome you to the obvious fact that what? Change is just challenge with an LLE in the middle. Do you see? CHALLENGE. Change is just challenge in the middle. That's an obvious fact. But my belief that also that the LLE stands for life's learning experiences or vice versa. So change is just challenge with an LLE in the middle, or challenge is just change with an LLE in the middle. But the LLE is for life's learning experiences. And so during my series, what I do is I challenge you to change your definition of success, because success challenges and changes you. And you see, what's happened is that we've allowed financial success to become the headline rather than the subset of success. We've allowed financial success. Oh, well, I'm successful. Everybody's thinking money. We've allowed financial success to become the headline instead of the subset. So what we have to do is recognize that one of success's actual components is change. And so to get success back to being the headline rather than the subset, what we have to do is first look at change as choices, hardships, achievement, negotiations, guidance, and empathy. Choices, hardships, achievement, negotiations, guidance, and empathy. Each of these words bring up a memory of something that you've done to survive, don't they? Haven't you made some choices to survive? Haven't you been through some hardships and have some great achievements, and negotiated some deals to survive, and had some good coaching or some good guidance? And haven't you felt for somebody, your empathy? Haven't those things help you survive? Well, think about it. Survival equals success. And so that's what you have to realize. You are a survivor and you are therefore a success. Okay. So during our time today, what I'm going to do is address that success through change by talking about the letter H for hardships, heroes, and health. H, because that's our letter of today: hardships, heroes, and health. And that's how, as I talk about that with change, you'll see how I apply it to success. And to set the table for the full lesson, I'll first introduce to some and reintroduce to many two of my favorite affirmations. And that's focus and faith. Focus, Focus, finding ourselves creates unlimited success. Focus on you and let other people come into focus. And then faith, Faith, feeling as if there's hope. Feeling as if there's hope, knowing that the only thing you cannot do is give up. And so we want to look at those and see how those will impact your health, how you choose your heroes, and how you handle hardships. So first, let's look at health. Well, one of my favorite illustrations, and one I've heard several people adopt, is that of the announcement you hear on a commercial airplane. Even though many of us haven't flown in a while, but I flew a couple of weeks ago to Oklahoma City, and they still say the same thing. If we lose cabin pressure, oxygen masks will drop down. If you're traveling with small children, they don't say it exactly like that. They say if you're traveling with someone who needs help. But if you're traveling with small children or someone who needs help, put yours on first. Put yours on first. And think about it, okay? Children mimic or mirror adults. With all the movies and TV shows where you've seen someone get abducted, when someone puts a cloth over their mouth and nose, a young child could easily imagine themselves in a more dangerous situation than you think the plane losing cabin pressure signals. And then they may fight your effort to try to protect them. When they see you put on yours first, a feeling of safety allows them to look forward to again learning from you and putting their mask on. And these days, those masks are oxygen masks. Right? So I'm sorry, the oxygen masks are face masks these days. So put yours on first. And I have to ask you, are you cursing or happily wearing your face mask? Don't curse that you have to wear the face mask. Be happy that you have to wear the face mask right now, because what are you doing? You're protecting yourself, but more importantly, you're taking care of you. You're taking care of your PMS. And what's the PMS? Your physical, mental, and spiritual health, so that you can take care of those you love. So take care of yourself. That's what focus is all about. Put you first. Finding ourselves creates unlimited success. Put yourself first so that you can take care of those you love. Your PMS, physically, mentally, and spiritually. And what do I mean by that? Well, think about it. If you don't take care of yourself physically, can you help the loved one who falls off the bed? Or you need to pull them up to a chair if you don't take care of yourself physically? If you don't take care of yourself mentally, can you give your children good advice when they have to make a tough decision? It doesn't have to be a child. It could be a coworker. It could be a brother, sister, a peer. Can you help someone? And if you don't take care of yourself spiritually, can you tell someone to have faith? Remember, we talked about being survivors. Can you encourage someone to believe in God? So see, you have to take care of your PMS, physical, mental, and spiritual self. And hey, what's up, Zach? All right. And then ZK and that's for Facebook. She's here in the mix. All right. So focus. Finding ourselves creates unlimited success. Focus on you and let others come into focus. So where was I? All right. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Now, and so that was what I just talked about. I just talked about your health. Next, I want to talk about your heroes. Okay, we're talking hearts of health, heroes, and hardships, how they contribute to your success. Okay, so your heroes will change according to who you are and where you are on your life's journey. So, who are your heroes? Put it in the thread. Who are your heroes? And don't use your maternal or adopted parents. Just tell me, who are some of your heroes? Let's put them in the thread right now. Who are your heroes? Let's see who we got here. Who are some of your heroes? Let's put that in the thread and see what we got. All right, we got a little tape delay. And again, so therefore, obviously, if you're watching the videotape, you've got time to put your heroes in as well. See, we got everybody covered. I love it. I love it. All right, let's see some heroes in the feed. Let's see some heroes in the feed. Okay, here they come. All right. Pastor Mike, and he is wonderful with what's it called? FCB. Or what's the church that? Yeah, but that's a pastor in New York, her church in New York, Pastor Mike. He is a wonderful selection for being a hero. And I think it is FCB. 2 Corinthians. Okay. All right. Amy, what's up, Amy? Who's your hero? Put it in the thread. Put it in the thread. Who is one of your heroes? Not a maternal or adopted parent. Who is one of your heroes? All right. Who is one of? Oh, there you go. FCBC. 1 Corinthians Baptist Church. See, once I see it, I remember. Pastor Mike at 1 Corinthians Baptist Church. Great hero selection. Who are some of your heroes, or just one of your heroes? Let's put it in a thread right now. And then I'm going to share with you one of mine, but I want to see yours first. Okay, I'm going to give it another 30 seconds. All right, just another 30 seconds to get some heroes in the thread there. And if you see, I'm looking up to the left because I've got this going on my cell phone so that I can kind of see some live and maybe answer you more quickly than I have in the past. A wonderful life, wonderful life. Okay. Amy, you can see scrolling across the bottom. We're talking about LLE, life's learning experiences. And take care of your PMS, your physical, mental, and spiritual self. So what we got here, Laura Austin. Laura Austin. And I don't know who Laura Austin is, and that's fine. See, great. But did she just get a blessing? Whoever she is, all right. And if there's somebody in Black history, well, there's somebody for you all to look up, because I'm certainly going to Google her afterwards just to make sure that that's not somebody famous that I should know, or that I would want to honor, that Roger Carroll is, or is that a personal friend and hero? Okay. My brother. Okay. All right. Good. Yep. That would be Tyvon. What's up, V? That's my niece there. Is on the case. Oh, my sister niece. All right, everybody's getting on. Now we're talking. Thank y'all very much. I appreciate y'all. So there's some heroes, okay? And then, oh, Carolyn's got my church sister, Catherine. Yes, yes. Aren't we blessing these people? And see, that's why I'll wait for people to put them in, because sometimes you have to bless people by participating. Isn't think about it. How have you really been blessed when someone has shared a blessing with you? So they participated, they delivered the blessing, and they were a part of the blessing. Oh, she was a Girl Scout. Okay, and church. Okay, so I don't have to Google her. But she's got such a nice name, Roger Carroll. It looked like one of those Black History Month names. And this is March, Women's History. I said, Roger Carroll throwing us a history name up there. But great. All right, let's move on, okay? So those are some of your heroes, okay? Remember, heroes will change according to where you are in your life's journey. And so I'd like to now give you one of my heroes. Let me give you one of my heroes, Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was one of my heroes. First of all, when I met Muhammad Ali, like many of us, he was someone named Cassius Clay. And he was consistent about saying that he'd be the greatest fighter of all time. I just loved his braggadocious and charismatic demeanor, and how he'd use his poetic personality to predict each of his victories. Now, many people today don't realize that that's why so many people of yesterday actually didn't like Muhammad Ali. See, our younger generation, you've met Muhammad Ali as the greatest, and everybody likes Muhammad Ali. But let me tell you, young people, and some of you may know, so let me confirm, he was not liked. Because when he switched from being Cassius Clay to being Muhammad Ali, that was controversial. In fact, there's the movie's out right now called A Night in Miami, talking about when him, Sam Cooke, Malcolm X, and one more. Who was the fourth person? Time's up. Okay, so but it's called One Night in Miami, and it was talking about her when Cassius Clay switched his name. Okay, but anyway, so he was one of my heroes, and just like people today, many people wanted him to carry their definition of being humble and humility, right? They didn't like that he said, I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest. And I'm not, and this is not a racist. Thank you, Roger Carroll. Jim Brown was the fourth person. I'm not talking diversity here right now, y'all. I'm talking everybody, people of all races and ages and ethnicities did not like the fact that Cassius Clay was saying, I'm the greatest. And also when he became Muhammad Ali and said it. So a lot of people didn't like it. Why? Because they wanted their definition of how he needed to be humble, which to me meant they wanted him to be quiet and actually seem surprised at how God had gifted him to be a talented athlete. See, God had given him this gift. And so he was shining his gift. He was saying, hey, this is the gift that God has given me. And people wanted him to be surprised when he won. He said, no, I'm going to win. And I'm going to win in this round. Okay, what you saying, Roger Carroll? So I'm on 125th and 7th, standing on a milk crate saying, I am the greatest. Oh, Carroll, yes, right. See, when we grew up in Harlem, we got to see a lot of that stuff. Yeah, on a milk, and that's the 128th, 125th and 7th is now, they've renamed it Adam Clayton Powell Boulevard. Okay, so yes, history is there. The culture does not like you defining yourself outside of its boundary. Absolutely, yes, and now Roger Carroll, she's not talking modern day. That's America. And it's just most places, the culture, people want you to, isn't this what we're talking about? The fear of success. Didn't I say earlier, the reason some people don't want to talk about their success is because people would rather amplify your failure and minimize your success. So it's easier to not talk about yourself, and then you don't have to take the, feel the wrath of people who don't want you to be, talk about how good you are. And we see it more in our girls as we think about socialization, dummying themselves down so that they can get the guys who are the athletes, the most popular. All of this stuff is going on. See, this is not new, y'all. And this is also why, like I say, survivors, we've been dealing with this. All of us, maturity is about that. Okay. Puberty is about learning to deal with these things. And we've done it. We've all been through bullying. We didn't call it bullying. We called it being popular. We've all been through something. Have we all given ourselves credit for just how much we are survivors? But that's what I say. Don't be surprised when God gifts you. Don't be surprised that you are my niece is a fabulous cook, a baker, and she comes up with these creative ways of how she can make the cakes and the celebrations for her, for her family and friends or people who hire her. And her company is called Pudding Baby. She creates little cups of pudding and cakes. It's just being creative. Now she should say, "Oh wow, look at that gift." She's got to say, "I'm the best at this. This is why you should use my business." As a speaker, I can't say, "Oh, well, hey, I think I'm pretty good. I would love you to speak." No, I am the best. When I walk off that stage, I walk off with the confidence that I strolled on to the stage with, because I know that I delivered my message. Now, notice I'm saying that in advance. But while I'm delivering it, my focus is I got to deliver my message. And so I have to make sure that I walk off that stage knowing I have delivered my message. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. And that's also why Muhammad Ali is one of my heroes. So let me first take you back to Mr. Humanitarian, one of our original humanitarians, Mr. Humanitarian, 1446 BC, Moses. He was Mr. Humanitarian, 1446 BC, Moses, because in 1446 BC, Moses said to God, he said, "If I come to the people of Israel and say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you, and they ask, what is his name? What shall I say to them?" And then God says to Moses, he said, "I am who I am." And then he said, "Say this to the people of Israel, I am has sent me to you." God also then says to Moses, "This is my name forever. And thus I am to be remembered. And thus I am to be remembered throughout all generations," in Exodus 3:14. Cassius Clay changed his name to Muhammad Ali. See, God didn't change his name and who he is, but Cassius Clay changed his name to Muhammad Ali while never changing his claim, saying, "I am the greatest." And so when I started my speaking business in 1994, I wrote myself an affirmation that I wanted to be the Muhammad Ali of motivational speaking. You know what I found out in a short amount of time? That Muhammad Ali was actually the sporty king of boxing. You see, greatness is about being who you are. You will only and always be successful when you choose to be yourself. So what you have to ask yourself, I don't want to be the Muhammad Ali of motivational speaking. He's the sporty king of boxing. Who's the you of what? See, that's the question that you have to ask yourself. Who's the you of what? And that's the life learning experience. Who's the you of what? And how did they get there? See, you know how you got where you are. And can anybody else go through what you had to go through to get there? You didn't even know you could. But have you stopped to give yourself credit? And have you given yourself, child of God, according to his will, have you given yourself the credit for getting there? Not the surprise, but the credit. Because the credit goes, if you're made in God's image, you don't have to be humble to man. Your humility is to God. And if God said, look, I'm giving you this gift and I need you to go and use it this way, when you use it, you got to celebrate. Whoa, I used the gift. I'm not surprised. I'm going to use it again. And I'm going to use it again. And I'm going to get better at using it each time. And guess what? I become the greatest me, which is the only way I'm ever going to really be successful. And that's what focus is all about. Finding ourselves creates unlimited success. Every single step that you take is toward your personal success. You can't have professional success if you don't have personal success. And the only time you fail is when you try to be someone else. And yeah, see, we're puffing our chest out now that we know that in our 40s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, right? But we didn't know that in our tens. We didn't know that in our teens. Some of us, all right, we felt it, but we didn't believe it. We held it down. Some of us didn't know it in the 20s. Some still don't know it in the 30s and 40s. All right. So let's not beat up the people behind us who were where we used to be. They didn't know it. So, and let's not beat them up with, you need to know. No, it takes time. It's hard to believe until you really start to love yourself and see how important you are. And that takes time. But that also takes time. That also means, who are you surrounding yourself with? You always hear me say, so, I'm always, choose your messengers carefully and recognize you're being carefully chosen as a messenger. So therefore, that's that message of success or failure that you are allowing yourself to hear based on the people you have around. So that's why I focus. That's why you got to put yourself first. Once I take care of me, PMS, once I take care of me, now I'll know who to bring around because I have a better understanding. I recognize myself in the people that I'm with. And so I make sure that, am I seeing, is that what I am? Is that what I'm seeing? Why am I staying in this relationship? And so that easily, that will actually move us to what the second F that I told you about earlier, and that is faith. Feeling as if there's hope. Recognizing that the only thing you cannot do is give up. And you haven't. You haven't given up. And we just have to remember that we have not given up. Even when we're in a storm situation, what do we say? I'm going through something. Through is a self-fulfilling prophecy. We're not saying I'm out of it. We said, I'm going through this right now. In other words, I expect to get to the other end because I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. And I have to do what I have to do to get there. And recognize that you are always in a storm or in the middle of a storm. You're never at the beginning or the end of the storm because you don't know where the storm actually began. You know where you recognize that you were in the storm, but you don't know where it began. It might have began when you knocked the glass over. And then that is what triggered the anger from somebody else. You don't know where the storm started. And you don't know where it's going to end. So you can't even really say I'm at the end of a storm because whatever seems like the end of that storm could be the next step in the next storm. And again, not the beginning of the next storm, but a continuation into the next storm that you're going to get through because your track record says that you go through storms. Have you checked and trusted your track record? Because you keep making it through. So thus hardships in my book, morning, noon, and night, I have an inspiration that I created that says, you don't know how really good of a speaker I am because you see my positive twists, my positive posts instead of my life. And I'm not just quoting the book. I'm telling you that. You don't know how good I speak. You think I'm good. And I thank you for coming on this broadcast, but you don't know how good I really am because you see my positive live broadcast. You see the memes that I put in, the affirmations. You see that positive stuff, but you don't see my life. You don't see my life because I'm not into broadcasting. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not saying that I'm not going to share my down moments, but it's just that, you know what? I'm focused on my victories because I believe in what God says, that what you meant for evil, God meant for good. So I get on that bandwagon immediately. The moment something goes wrong, I'm like, oh, okay, there's a lesson in this. What's the life learning experience? I'm ready to be there. And in fact, what the flashback I want to give you is that as a person to me who automatically, I used to just throw away junk mail automatically. Notice the word, I used to. But check this out. As of September 19th, 2018, I open it all up and then I smile. Why? Because one time I got a letter from Nielsen Ratings that had $1 in it. And it had the promise that if you answer our survey, we're going to send you another $5 for responding. Okay. 1 and 5, 6. Now, would $6 turn my life around? Well, ask you this. Let me ask you this. Will the gas station let me pump $6 worth of gas for free just because I need it to get to another speaking engagement where I can get paid? And you know that answer is no. You don't even need the word. Put that in the thread. You can put the N right there for you, right? See, so it may seem like I'm digressing, but no, what I'm saying is I've actually run out of gas 10 times in my life. 3 times with the car running, by the way. And I've been down to my last dollar several times as well. I don't even remember how many times I've been down to my last dollar. But 2 things. One, each time I spent that last dollar, it happened to have been on buying gas to get me to the next engagement to replenish my money. And 2, I've never panicked. I've never panicked. So we can let that H stand for ha, because I never panicked. I've actually laughed through those moments, like I said to you earlier, because my faith is not a cliche. I know and believe in who I am. See, that's what you need to be able to say to your mirror. And you don't even need the mirror. I know and believe in who I am. So I can laugh off anything that comes my way. Just sometimes it's a matter of how long it takes to laugh. Yeah, maybe it's not an instant laugh. Maybe it take me a whole 5 seconds or a whole 10 seconds. But you know what? And if it takes you a minute, if it takes you an hour, who are you? Do you believe in who you are? Do you know and believe in who you are? That's the key. I got a long message. That's why I should make sure I stayed in my notes. But one thing I also did was I created a poem expressing my belief. I believe in the power of words. What you say make a difference. So because I refuse to ingest the words I'm broke, what instead I made a poem called My Money is on Vacation. My money is on vacation. I didn't want to say I'm broke. My money's on vacation. See, you have to hear success. You have to hear what you're saying to yourself and about yourself. And I'm never saying I'm broke. My money is on vacation. And guess what? It came back every single time. And it came back on time. Trust your track record. But you got to look at it and know that. And that expresses my belief, and I handle all the hard times that I've been through. You'll find that in my book. My last book was A Poet and Every Prophet, which gives you a chronicle of the poetry I wrote from 2001 to 2011. Ooh, that makes me realize I'm probably due for a new book. Okay. But what you have to do is you have to hear that success and what you're saying about yourself. There's the focus again, because what other people say, because part of focus, finding ourselves creates unlimited success. Focus on you and let other people come into focus. Once you know what you're saying about yourself, you'll start to hear what other people are saying about you, and you'll know how you need to ignore what they're saying about you, because what you say is the most critical thing. So that's why I say to you, hear your success. And I challenge you again to change your definition of success and see that the hardships you've handled have harnessed the heartbeat you have, hold, and cherish. That's a mouthful of H's. The hardships you've handled have harnessed the heartbeat you have, hold, and cherish. Many people, not those on this broadcast who earlier put in the C's and the L, are afraid or uncomfortable with change, when in fact, we're all actually masters of change, because it's just LLE, life's learning experiences that move and inspire us to grow. See, add that to what the LLE, they move and inspire us to grow. So let's not be afraid of. This is the fear of success. Let's not be afraid of success, but let's continue to have a healthy definition of success by returning it to its rightful place as what? The headline rather than the subset of financial success. Remember, choices, hardships, accomplishments, negotiations, guidance, empathy. CHANGE. That's change. And those feelings all make you think about something that you've done to survive. You've made some tough choices. You've gone through the hardships that we just talked about. You've had some wonderful accomplishments. You've had to negotiate. You had to give some to get some. You had to give a take. You had to, which is also similar to choices. You've had some great leaders, some great coaches in your life, and they give you the guidance to go through, and they were positive. They didn't give up on you, so don't give up on our future children. Stop saying these damn kids ain't going to make it. Give them the guidance so that they can. Look at the patience you have. I salute you, parents. It's not easy, but you've got to remember to salute yourself. And everybody, we've got to remember to give our parents a helping hand, not just a clap. Give them a helping hand. And remember that parenting is not always maternal. My pride and joy, like I say, my most important title behind my name is uncle. And my niece is on here now, and I know them. Some of my nieces and nephews will be on the broadcast because I have, besides my maternal ones, I got plenty of that I've adopted and just loved. And so we've got to support one another. And all of that, y'all, all of that is about being successful and how we survive. So see yourself as a survivor. Survivors equal success. And you are not just a success, you are a brave success. And brave, by brave, I'm talking about one of the bravest things you can do. And we all do it. We do it every day. We lay down and go to sleep. That's brave. That's brave because you don't have a guarantee that you're going to wake back up. So give yourself credit for that bravery. You are a brave success. And that determines whether you take a power nap or go to sleep for the night. You are a brave success. And that's what we have to recognize. So go back to our sponsor for today's message, Exodus 14 and 11. Why did you bring us out here to die in the wilderness? Our Egyptian slavery was far better than dying out here in the wilderness. You see, that has an eerie feeling to where we find ourselves since this pandemic decided to not march us out of Egypt, but to march us into our homes. Our success is embedded in how we handle this new change in direction. You say you're happy. You say you're happy to be on this side of the ground, but are you? Are you showing it in every possible way? Are you further developing harmonious relationships? Are you further developing new traditions as well as which ones you'll continue and believing that God wouldn't give you more than you could handle? Are you learning and experiencing that glue is GLUE? God's love undoes everything. And when you recognize that and appreciate it, then you'll know that you are not only a survivor, but you have no need to fear success because you are success. Thank you so much for watching this broadcast. I'd like to once again thank my co-authors, Daphne, Victor, Haas, Roger Carroll, and Ramona. Next week, I'll be using the letter I, so put words in the thread that begin with the letter I. I don't know what my topic is yet, but put words in there begin with the letter I. And again, even if you're watching the broadcast, words with the letter I, because what that does is inspire me. There's an I already, because it'll help me be creative and come up with ways that I can get the message across. Because ladies and gentlemen, it has to be our message. It has to be our message. And that's what we recognize as the people who we move along with. All right. Let me see what Roger Carroll said. Amen. And I don't know when she said it, but it is at the end of our message. Yeah, amen. AMEN, a message that everyone needs. But will you remember it and will you embrace it and let it work for you? Because it will. Okay. So I'm Sporty King. Don't forget, you can catch my broadcast. Always, you can catch my broadcast on Facebook as well as YouTube. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. But also, as you look at on YouTube, the good thing about YouTube is you can watch them sequentially. versus Facebook. You get, in between. And I don't mind you scrolling down to find them. But if you want to just have a sporty concert, I got them according to playlists. I got them according to Monday morning, Wednesday, and Friday. So you can pick your playlist. Learn how to use the technology. Old school, I'm always going to keep telling you that. All right. But thanks again. God bless you. I see we got already ignominious. Roger Cal. See, that's why I thought she had a Black History name with her Girl Scout friend, because she'll hit me with some words. I appreciate it. Everybody put a word in there with I that begin with the letter I, because I is the most important person in your life. I being you. So you have to say I. My company name is The Top Line, and the top line is how I feel affects other people. See, it's not about the bottom line, it's the top line, because how other people feel affects your business. So, and your life. So how do you feel? Because it's impacting the rest of us. So please feel good, and then let us find ways to help you feel even better. That's all I got for y'all today. I'm getting ready to take a vacation day and enjoy my niece because she's in town. Because guess what? My Uncle Sammy is turning 100 this weekend. Yes, he's turning 100 years old. And I'm not going to do a play on word 100 years young. He's 100 years old. Old, OLD, is our Lord's desire, our life's destiny, whatever you want to call it. See, don't let people, stop you from using your creative vocabulary. What'd you say? Impossible. And you just made me think of that song with Mary Poppins. Impossible for a plain yellow pumpkin to become a streaming dragon. No, that's not Mary Poppins. That's whatever song it is. But yeah, nothing is impossible when you have God on your side. And amen. I know we got some praying women. I know Carolyn got him on her side. All right. So 100 Uncle Sammy this weekend on Friday. So please send a prayer up of thanks to God for him making the century mark. And thank you. Yes, that's right. Yeah. Oh, yes, right. Because didn't your mother just turn 100 not too long ago, Roger Carroll? Because I remember when you had posted something about it. I'm not going to hang up till I see. Make sure that you get that post in there so I can do a shout out for your mother, because I remember. I know I even remember typing on there, when your mother turned 100. Yeah, and as I like to call it, when did she hit the century mark? If you're going to turn 50, call it a half century. When you're going to turn 25, call it a quarter of a century. See, give some honor to that blessing. It was in December. Wow. Yes. Okay. Yes, in December. Okay. Yes, I remember that. But yeah, see, find words to celebrate this. So give it, don't we say teenager instead of just saying 13, and then legal age at 18 and 21. See, so yeah, celebrate 40, what you going to say with 40? I used to say a nautical 40 with sporty, tell it to Israelites. I don't know. But anyway, look, again, thank you for joining me with Glue Wednesday. GLUE, God's love undoes everything. Not that it will tear things apart, but what has been torn apart, God will put it back together for you. God bless you, and I'll see you next week. Ciao.